everyone, my name is Reagan Smollen and I'm the social media manager for the EQUUS television network. And today I'm with Roxane Durant, who is the co-founder and executive director of the IEA program. So welcome, it's great to have you. First off, can you just tell me a little bit about your position and what you do for the organization?
Yeah, sure. So I am the original founder of IEA, and we have a team of 4 co-founders. So I'm one of those original 4. And I currently also work as the IEA's executive director, sort of overseeing all aspects of running our organization and the business side of it and all of that. So my background is originally in hunter jumpers. I came up through the hunter jumper world and rode and trained and taught and all for a lot of years, and but really enjoyed working in horse show management, and then ended up sort of blending that horse show management experience and interest into building this organization of the IEA.
And that's awesome. And I actually rode IEA, so it's a great opportunity to introduce horses to people who may not be able to have their own or just want to dip their toe into the show ring. So can you talk a little bit about the structure and how IEA works?
Yes. So the IEA is a draw-based format, and originally founded to be a direct feeder system to the Intercollegiate Horse Show Association, the IHSA. And so with the draw-based format, it means that a rider to participate in the IEA does not have to own and provide their own horse at competitions. So it brings the expense of getting involved in the sport down to something more manageable. I think of it sort of like if you're on a swim team, maybe you don't own a pool, but you can still be on a swim team. So it's similar to that you're sharing your resources and providing the opportunity for people to ride that might not be able to afford it through the traditional means of owning a horse and providing for all the care and expense of owning a horse. It also has a team aspect. So generally it's draw-based format. So the riders will work through in the regular season. They go to a maximum of, depending on our discipline, 5 or 6 shows through the year. So it's not about point chasing. It's not about the person that goes to the most shows. It's just, a total of 5 for hunt seat and dressage or 6 for Western. And in going to those shows, the riders are trying to accumulate a set number of points so that once you hit that number, you are then qualified or eligible for postseason events. And then our postseason events have, depending on the discipline, but effectively a regional component. So that's, maybe within the shows you usually go to all get together and the top riders will compete. The riders that move on from regionals will go to a zone final, which is probably, if you think of it as sort of like 4 or 5 states getting together, and their top riders from each region will then be in a zone final. And then from the zone finals, those top riders are then invited to a national final, which is in different areas of the country. This year, we have a combined final event for hunt seat and dressage that will be in St. Louis. And then our Western finals will be part of the Paint Horse World Show in Fort Worth, Texas in June. So the general concept is you compete as an individual and as a member of the team. So there's really 2 tracks to all those, to the point earning and to the qualifying. You can qualify as an individual. Just like as a rider, you did very well. You got a lot of points in these classes. You did well and got to a postseason events. Or the cumulative scores of your team also can qualify the whole team for events, for postseason events. And ultimately, really, I think the goal is really just for kids to get to ride and get to be involved in the sport and an opportunity to ride and try out competition on horses. But then I think, at the team and the competition level, their goal is get to nationals. So there's several paths to get there.
When can someone start riding in the program?
So we are open to 4th grade, and 4th through 12th grade is our main focus. So we have the future division, which is 4th grade through 8th grade is what we call basically middle school, quote, futures in IEA. And then upper school has a junior varsity and a varsity component, but those are all considered part of one team. And that's for 9th grade through 12th grade. And then we offer the 3 disciplines. So hunt seat, Western, and dressage. Hunt seat has been around the longest and is our biggest discipline. Probably about 75% of our members are hunt seat, compete in the hunt seat division. And then Western and dressage. Western has been around. We started that like 2000. Well, the whole IEA we started about 2002, and Western started about 2006. And dressage is pretty new. I don't have a date, but let's say within the last 6 years, we've been doing dressage. Some as a pilot program, and now as a fully incorporated program for a couple of years now.
It's awesome. So going back to 2002. Where did you what gap did you feel like needed to be filled, and where did the idea of IEA and starting up the IEA program come from?
So it started, I actually was working at a school, a private school in the Cleveland area, Cleveland, Ohio. And it was a private school that had just built this beautiful, like Taj Mahal of an equestrian center. And so they had really put a lot into an equestrian program at the high school level. And I thought, really what we want to do as a signature program is make sure our kids are prepared for college riding. So if we're a college prep school, then a college prep school means they're preparing students in the classroom to go to college. So we should be doing the same as part of this, nice, impressive equestrian program. So at the time, to me, it seemed like a lot of our riders were intimidated by the draw-based format, and they didn't really understand it. And how do I do that? And I don't know, I'm only used to showing my own horse. And so I thought, if we can get students used to that format at a younger age, then more of them will go on to ride in college. And the same idea of IHSA of bringing that down to a level of affordability. The same concepts, get more people involved. So I actually reached out to Bob Cacchione, who is the founder of the Intercollegiate Horse Show Association. I said, what do you think? Do you think there's a need for this? Do you think that we could create something that is a feeder program for you and better prepares our kids to come into your program? And he actually flew in and helped me present to our board of directors at the school at the time to present this idea of, let's just try an event. So our board did approve that, and we did an event just that one year that was called the Interscholastic Invitational, and we invited other private schools all around the country. If they had equestrian in their description, we invited them. And so we had probably about 12 schools that came to the first invitational, and about 100 riders came, and everybody had a great time. And we thought, this is really fun. And those kids felt like, oh, this is cool. I could ride in college. That's not that scary. It was actually really fun. So we did this invitational a couple years in a row, and then the invitational grew into pockets of other people replicating that idea. And then we, from there, kind of built the structure to be the IEA. And we worked with the IHSA. We pulled from their rule book to base our rule book on very, very similar, so the experiences are similar. And the idea is that if you are participating in IEA, it's like one step down from what you would do in IHSA. So like as an open rider in IHSA, if you would compete at like 3 foot or 3'3", then in the IEA, we brought it down to 2'6". As a novice or intermediate rider, if you're competing more like 2'6" in college, then we brought it down to 2 foot for the high school level. And then we added a middle school component. And it's actually pretty recently that the middle school has gone down to 4th and 5th grade. It used to be 6th through 8th, and about, I lose track of time, 4 or 5 years ago, we added the 4th and 5th graders, again, starting as a pilot program. And that was huge. Like immediately, there were all, lots of 4th and 5th graders waiting in the wings to join. So
I think I started in 6th grade, so that was great. But it's awesome that you're setting them up and getting prepared for college and working together with that program. So really beneficial.
Yeah, and it's the team component too. So even a lot of riders who can show traditionally and have their own horse or or lease a horse and can do more than the IEA, they still really enjoy that team component, because that's really different compared to traditional showing where you just go in the ring and compete against all of your friends. In this case, you know, you're working together with your friends for your team to win at the end of the day.
Yeah, and as a rider, I think one of the best things that IEA and IHSA as well gave to me is the opportunity to ride different horses and to learn how to ride a wide span of horses instead of yours. Because you're not in college, a lot of the settings are pull and draw and ride. So I think it sets you up as a rider to be very strong too.
It also levels the playing field too. It's not like the person who brought the nicest horse is going to win the class. It's the person who brought the best skills to the day and whose skills match the horse they drew. And so then, you know, there's so much learning along the way from every horse. You know, as a horseman, every horse you ride has something to teach you. So the more that you can learn to address your weaknesses, you know, if you get a horse that's, you know, that takes a lot of leg and you realize, wow, that really isn't my type, I need to go work on that. That gives you incentive to go work on your weaknesses when you go back home and take your lessons and all that.
Yeah. So advice would you give to a rider who is interested in starting an IEA or looking for a team or wanted to get more information about the program?
So for us, on our website, which is rideiea.org, on our website, depending on the discipline you're interested in, you can click on that discipline, and then there is a find a team where you can go and, you know, click on through all of that till you find like your area of the country, and then you can zoom in and see, here are teams in my area. Here's contact information for the coaches of those teams, a link to a website on a lot of those. So there's a lot of information just there on our website. And then also, if you're a rider, you know, or a parent of riders at a barn that maybe says, well, wow, we want to start a team, then I would say those folks can just give us a call, and they can certainly look on that map and see what's available. But, you know, if they just want to start a team at their own barn, we have folks in our office that can help them get that going. And then really to get involved, our membership season starts in May. Like, we start rolling out memberships for next year in May, and then competitions for the new season would start in August. So it pretty much follows a school year. So, you know, you're at that sort of 2/3 point of your school year. That's about where we are in IEA too.
And is there anything for the future of the organization's fun and exciting coming up, or future plans that you want to share?
Yes. Well, the biggest thing we're working on, which doesn't feel that fun right now, but it will be, is our new data system. So for all of us that are in IEA, we know that this has been a transitional, difficult year where we're building a fantastic new system, but we've been trying to live in it while we're building it. So, you know, picture trying to live in a brand new house while you're still hooking up the plumbing and things. That's a little how it's felt this year, which has been just, it's been a bonding experience. And it's, you know, we're so appreciative to all of our staff and volunteers and participants for, you know, working with us through this year in that. But ultimately next year, when that is all functioning, and we're just about there now too. But as the new year kicks off, everything will have full functionality, and that will be really exciting. And for our teams that participate, they have a hosting obligation. They have to help host the horse shows. And next year, when all this functionality is in place, there will be just a lot of help through the system, through guiding them how to host the shows and do the points and do the programs and all the things that go along with that. On the more fun side than that, is we are still working with our adult pilot program, which is new and different. So this is year 3, I think. We're about 2.5 of the adult pilot program. And at each of the disciplines, we have basically an entry level for adults. Now, the one gap there is that we don't offer that program for college age riders, because they can get it through college programs. Mm-hmm. So the IEA itself is going from 4th through 12th grade. And then for riders that are out of college, like 21 and over, there is this adult pilot program. And this year, within the adult pilot program, we are actually going to have riders that qualify from each zone all the way up to national finals. So we've had a handful of riders that came to national finals as adult riders in the prior year, but this year it is open so that a rider from every zone, so we effectively could have, like 12 riders in our hunt seat classes. So that's new and exciting. We're still like sitting on it to see, is this really something people want? Is that are the classes we're offering the right level of classes? So we're still working on that. And we've got about 3 years of data now to see how we might change classes or offer something different or not offer some of the lowest level classes. So we'll see. But that is fun and exciting. And we've had so many families and parents that were like, oh, that looks so fun. I wish we could do it. Or, oh, I wish they had that when I was a kid. So now that opportunity exists.
Yeah, that's awesome. And glad you guys are continuing to kind of grow things and, making improvements, and it's showing. So I know the program's grown a lot and it's been great, but I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. And it's been great to learn about IEA and hopefully get some other people that are able to learn more about the program.
Yeah, we're all for that. We like to think we're really serving that entry level of competition. So if you want to get in and try it out, at least without the obligation of buying a horse before you're ready, then this is a great path. And probably about 60% of our riders do go on to lease or buy a horse within their school tenure. So it's a great pathway to get into that side of the sport as well. But we just want to try to bring as many people as we can into the sport that we love so much.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, let us know. Contact Reagan Smollen at reagan@equustelevision.net with comments or suggestions. Thanks for listening, and join us every week right here on the EQUUS Radio Network.